Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sandy and this is Topic Beauty. Today we are going to focus on a nice flawless foundation, nice flawless base in our next step of our tutorial series. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. First we are going to prime. I'm just going to use, who is this by? Touch in Sol No Pore Bloom. Next I'm going to go on with Too Faced Born This Way foundation. For me, this is color Vanilla. I'm going to use a brush. You can feel free to use a sponge if you like. I like using a foundation brush. Actually, this is a flat kabuki brush from Sigma. You do not have to use this. First, I'm just going to tap this sort of all over my face. Oops. I'm just going to make sure I got it all up in the crook of my nose and around my mouth. I go ahead and put a little bit up on my ears if I feel like my ears are going to be visible. Most often they're not because I wear a headband and I cover my ears with my headband. Okay. That looks good. I'm just going to give it a little once over, make sure we don't have any bare spots or brush strokes. Next, I'm going to move on to concealer. I'm going to take a lighter concealer. This is number 2 Benefit Cakeless Concealer. And I'm just going to take a little bit, just bring some light back into my forehead here, in the corner of my eye, just on the outer corner. I'm just going to bring a little bit around my nose just because foundation has a hard time setting there. There's a hair on my... I'm just going to cover up, just put a dab over the dots. I know this is a little bit lighter than my foundation, but it works. Plus, those spots are going to be, those areas are going to be covered up with powder or, what do you call it, blush, bronzer, something like that. Then I'm going to take my sponge. I'm going to let this dry down for a minute or two. I just let it sit until I feel like it's starting to feel a little bit itchy, and then I start tapping it. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to, and we're not going to spread the concealer all over our face. We are going to tap it where it is. And that's kind of that. I'm just going to get that right up in the crevice of my nose. And I left a little fingerprint, so I'm just going to tap that. Because my foundation hasn't been set yet, so I'm just going to try to minimize touching it as much as possible, even though I touch my face so much. I'm just going to tap that outer corner. Same thing on the other side. Just going to tap this little area here. I have some, I think they're called age spots. I'm going to do my inner corner of my eye last because That's the area I have the most trouble with. See how I'm not spreading this all over? I'm just tapping it where I put the product. And I'm just going to kind of blur out these edges just a tiny bit. I'm going to take the corner-ish area of my sponge and just kind of tap that inner corner. Just kind of bring it. This is the only place I'm going to bring it out to the edge, to the outer part of my eye. Same thing on the other side. See how it just brightened my under eye? I have under eye bags. I'm sure there's a product out there somewhere that will assist better than this. I've tried lots of different products. I can't find one just yet, but I'm still on the hunt. I don't want to get I don't want to get filler just yet. For my setting powder, I'm gonna lose translucent one size ultimate setting powder. I got this the other day. I like it. It is nice. I'm just gonna shake a little bit into the cap because it is a loose powder. I'm going to take my favorite, this is a Spotlight Duster from Sigma. I'm just gonna, how I do it, and I've seen it done many different ways. I take some powder on my brush, I put it in the cap, I kind of pick it up with the brush, tap off a tiny extra, and I start at my nose. Just kind of tap a little bit out under my nose and around my mouth. Take a tiny bit more, tap it on my forehead. I'm not rubbing it in just yet. I'm just tapping it on. Just go around the outer. Now I'm going to brush it away with very, very light strokes. And I'm kind of buffing outward on my face. The same thing on my forehead. That has given me a smooth look. It has set my foundation. This is where you can put your powder contour on if you want. Before you set your face with your powder, your setting powder, if you want to use a cream contour. I have this contour palette from Zoeva. I like it. This one's a cream one. I do have some powder contour. I'm not going to do that today because there's so much involved with contouring. There's so much depending on the shape of your face, depending on what you want to do. Typically, I kind of lied. I am kind of going to contour my nose. It's not a full-on, what is it called? What do they call it? It's not a full-on snatching of my nose. I'm just going to bring some shape back to my nose. And to do that, I'm going to use this Dawn palette from Midas Cosmetics. It's a collab with Neon MUA. And I'm going to use this light shade right here. And I like this brush. I detest Morphe brushes, but I do like this brush. It's the M173. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that, tap off the extra, and I'm just going to, on the edge of my nose, bring it up to my eyebrow and then down straight. You can barely even see it, but I feel like it gives me a little tiny bit of a shadow. And then just right across the bulb. Is that a bulb or a ball of your nose? See how it just brought a little bit of, kind of, a little bit of definition, a little bit of a shadow to my nose. Some people hate this, but I take whatever is left on my brush and do it under my bottom lip. I don't know why. I do it. I do it and I like it, so I'm going to continue to do it. Next, I'm going to take this. I kind of sort of want to use a different bronzer than this one, just because, for fun. One bronzer I've been loving is in this Belgium Wallet palette. Belgium Waffle palette from BH Cosmetics. If you haven't tried anything from BH Cosmetics, it is kind of drugstore prices, even sometimes less. Man, they've got some beautiful, beautiful products. So I'm going to go in with color Cinnamon, which is right here on my angled brush, which I like to do. And if you have a larger forehead, this is definitely something that you want to do. I don't have a big forehead, but because I keep my hair so far off my head, I feel like I just need a little bit around my forehead. And I just feel like it gives my forehead a little bit of, almost like it's not so white, so light. So I'm just going to go around my hairline, and I'm just going to tap it for now. Just kind of like tap and flick it. And I just go right around my hairline and just kind of bring it, sort of flick it into my hairline. I don't put it in my hair. See how that just gave a little bit of darkness here, and now this area right here where we put the concealer looks just a tiny bit brighter. I'm going to go again with a tiny bit more. I'm going to take this just down the side of my nose, just drag it a tiny bit. I'm going to do the same thing under here. And then I'm almost going to use this to contour my cheekbones. See how when I talk you can see this little sunken in area? If I want to define that, I'm going to put this right in there. I don't want to right now. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But for today, I'm just going to go up above where that is, and I'm just going to kind of bring this see how it just gives me that, makes my cheekbones just pop a tiny bit more. And when you're using an angled brush like this, don't put the product down and back and forth, back and forth. You want to tap it, because you're going to get that skipping, because this is not really a blending brush. I don't know if it's a blending brush or not, but it doesn't work for me as a blending brush. And anytime I've ever seen anybody use a brush like this and they go like this, you can see the skipping start and the skipping shifting back and forth. So I'm just going to do that again, just because I want a little tiny bit more. Do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to take it and just the same thing, just under my chin, just to kind of, I don't have a chubby neck, but I do, I mean, I'm almost 50 years old. So I have this little, I don't know, chicken skin shit under my chin. So we're just going to kind of use this to almost fade that away a little bit. I don't know if it will, how it works on, to me, I see a difference, so I do it. And then just because I like to make it look a little more fluffy, a little more blended in, I use this larger brush. This is a blush brush. I don't know whose face this blush brush fits, but this is a huge brush. But I like to take a slightly lighter shade of bronzer, and I'm going to go into Batter, which is the one in the center. And I'm not gonna pick up a lot. I'm just gonna tap my brush on the product, and I'm just gonna go right over where I just went. This time I'm gonna use like little teeny tiny circular motions. And I'm not even really, I'm not putting a lot of product. I'm just kind of, in my brain, the way my eyes see it, I'm just kind of smoothing out that contour, making it look a little more natural. And then I take it and make almost like a W on my face. So I did that part here. So now I'm just going to go down like this, just on like above my cheek. Above my cheek, above this, whatever this is, your smile. Above your smile. Okay, that's it. That just added just a tiny bit more warmth back to my face, gave my face some shadows. So when I'm sitting still in the light, it doesn't look flat in one color, because we're not, no matter how light our skin is or dark our skin is, we don't have, it's not one perfect shade from top all the way to bottom. We have dimension to our skin, to our faces. We have shadows on our face. And when you put the foundation on, you blank that, and then you want to start building it back up with the other products. Does that make sense? Because it does to me. Next, I got an itch. Next, we are going to blush our faces. And for blush today, I'm going to use this Kaleidos. This is Lo-Fi Peach. I'm going to open it up and show you. The reason why I'm using this is because the eyeshadow that I'm going to use is, it's actually also from Kaleidos, but it's the Futurism Sashimi palette, but that's what it looks like. And we are going to use that. Well, I am. Okay, so for my blush, I like this Rephr #1 brush. It's an angle brush. I'm going to go into Punch, which is at the bottom. And everybody likes their blush in a slightly different place. Because I have these cheekbones, I like to go just under my cheekbone and up. Almost at an angle. And I bring my blush up to my temple. And this is another one of those angled brushes, sort of like, well, not sort of, it's exactly. Except this is a synthetic brush and this is a natural hair brush. I just like this because it picks up product like crazy. And I'm a blush fiend. I love my cheeks to pop. So that's why I use this one. And I don't go scrubbing back and forth because it's that angled brush that doesn't quite smooth your blush. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to build it up to the way I want it. And when I do brush strokes, I do them one direction. You can do them this direction, but don't swipe back and forth. It's one direction. Same thing on the other cheek. And just because I like to be a little extra. See this little shimmery shade here? It's slightly pinker. I'm going to take a tiny bit of that and I'm not dragging. I'm just circular motions, and I just like to put that right on the apple of my cheek. Just a little bit. And I just brought it up to my temple, maybe a Smidge on my nose as well. I don't know, I'm on a Kaleidos kick today, so we are going to use this Star Surfer. And we are just going to, so when you put your highlighter down, I feel like I never explain this. I just go ahead and throw it on because I know where I'm putting it. So when you turn your head, see kind of where the light hits your face. This is going to sound strange, but this is what I used to do until I kind of perfected where I like my highlighter to be. I would go in, say, the bathroom, stand in front of the mirror, turn off the big light, and put on a, what do you call those, like a little night light, and just stand in the mirror and just turn my head, and wherever I saw the light catch my face is where I would put the highlighter. And I've just always found that that works for me. So where I'm going to put my highlighter is kind of, see where my looks almost shiny already here? So that's where I'm going to put it and just bring that shine right back. And I bring it up to my brow and around. You can put as little or as much as you want. Look at that shine. That is beautiful to me. I love it. Some people do not like highlighter. I like it, and I always get a lot of compliments on my highlighter. Just going to do a tiny bit more. See that? That is stunning. I put a tiny bit on my upper lip just because after I put my lipstick on and that little Cupid's bow looks a little tiny bit wet, I like it. And I also put a little bit on the bridge of my nose. That is our base. That is our foundation. To set that, and I'm going to set it now just because I'm starting to get if you start to notice a little creasing under your eyes, you can go ahead and tap them out with a sponge or even your finger. So that is that. Sometimes what I will do is take a little bit more finishing powder and just kind of blend out areas where I notice the makeup has moved because I'm touching my face, because I touch my face a lot. Even when I'm getting ready, I touch my face, I get itchy. I have a lot of allergies, and one of the allergies is it makes my skin feel prickly. So I'm constantly touching, I'm constantly fidgeting and touching something somewhere. So that's what I do to set my face. So what I'm going to do now is just take this Milk Hydro setting spray and just kind of and then I take my sponge and just kind of tap. I don't rub, just tap that into my skin to just make everything melt. And that's our base. That's it. I mean, now you can do your eyes the way you want to. The only danger with doing your base before your eyeshadow is you could have some fallout and ruin under your eyes. If you're very, very careful, you'll be fine. I'm planning on being very, very careful. Okay, anyway. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment box down below. If you have any little technique that you want to learn, also leave that in the comment box below, and I will do my best to get it to you. That's the look for today. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Let me know how it went for you. Thank you for spending time with me today. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you go. See you again soon.
Oopsie, the outro was lost. Thank you for joining me. Bye.